I don't know if it's sharing, but we're live.
Yes, so welcome everyone and welcome to my guest. I'm very honored to be presenting with Fiorella Garibaldi, who is from Lima in Peru in South America, went to live in Miami and in the States, in Florida, and is now living in Sweden. So we have a very international guest. So welcome.
Thank you, Sandy. Yes, I've been like a little bit all over the place. I'm circling the earth around, finding my place. And now I'm in Sweden, in the north, in the cold, which is surprisingly because I've never ever in my life thought I would end up here out of all the places. But it's awesome. It's pretty awesome. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes, and I've seen from the bits that you shared, it's very beautiful there, and you seem to be enjoying the changing seasons, so that's great.
I actually, like I said before, like I always been like a Miami girl, beach, sun. All my destinations were always warm and beachy and salty. And then all of a sudden I meet my husband and I end up in Sweden, and I kept questioning myself, like, how did I end up in this cold country where it's dark like 6 months out of the year, you know? And I've been reflecting a lot of that, and I actually found that my soul really needed like a place like this, which is more calm, more quiet, where there's more nature around and like more forest and more stillness, because I needed to experience that. Like I was longing for that, and I was brought here, and now I'm just like enjoying and embracing like everything that nature is teaching me as I'm being here.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's great, but it's also surprising considering that you met in Hawaii.
Yes, we met in Hawaii. It's yeah, it's a little bit like the earth has been like our holding us, you know, all everywhere.
The whole earth is your playground, so that's great.
It is, it is.
I'm just going to read a little bit about your bio. So Fiorella Garibaldi is an embodiment energy coach, a yoga teacher, a breath worker, and international retreat facilitator. And we've already established that she's very international. She helps connect people back into their bodies, their hearts, and their truth through ancient wisdom, intuitive energy work, and embodiment practices. And today's topic is My True Power is Accepting All of Myself. So why did you choose that topic?
Because I feel like that has been like the core of my whole journey as becoming all of those titles. Like that's been the core of it, because I mean, I grew up being a very quiet, shy kid, but I also have this like alter ego, which was slashed out and party and was wild. And so I had like so many parts of myself that I never really quite understood. And that has been my whole medicine as far as becoming who I am right now. It's been accepting all of them, loving them, understanding them. So yeah, that's been I guess the root cause of why I'm now helping others do the same.
Yes. And would you like to speak a bit more about how you're helping others to do the same?
Yes, absolutely. I love the work that I'm doing. I feel like I have a hard time with titles. So because I never really know what I am doing and what I choose. So, but I know that we need titles in this reality right now. But I think that the core essence of my work is to help people bring them back into their bodies and energetically like understand and shift whatever needs to be shifted. Like I find that everybody has their own inner wisdom. Like everybody has their own shaman inside, their own guru. And my work is to hold a space and allow them to access that, whether it's to breath work or movement or voice or, you know, any of the embodiment techniques that could be used, but it's not like for me to give them the answers. It's for them to find their own answers within, because I think that we all have that inside of us, you know. So my job as a coach is not to tell people like, oh, this is the way you should go and this is what's going on. It's more like, can you feel, you know, can you sense, like, where in your body are you stuck, or what is it that needs to be shifted, what is it that you want? So I love that work because it's like empowering people to learn more about themselves through whatever method I end up using.
And hopefully you give them some sort of tools as to how to get in touch with that in case they've never done that sort of thing before.
Yes, we use, like I said, like I use a lot of different methods which go from breathing, from breath work. I hold monthly breath work circles here in Sweden. I also love doing movement work and moving from that place which is longing to move, moving from the womb space. I'm doing a lot of feminine work lately as well. I also love using voice because I feel like when we open up this chakra and we start to use our voice, a lot of energy moves as well. And so all of these tools can be used, but the end like the magic happens from the person tapping into their own inner wisdom, and kind of like, it's like downloads and magic happens when whatever tool is needed, you know, like when, I don't know, it's just like boom, it happens when the person is connected and the space is safe for them to experience and feel, because that's ultimate what we're doing, right? We're feeling what we haven't allowed ourselves to feel before.
Yeah.
And
are you still doing things online or only in person?
We have been pretty lucky in Sweden, like we haven't really had lockdown. So we have been doing live events. Of course, a lot of the coaching also goes online. But right now we're still hosting, we just had a cacao ceremony yesterday in the forest and it was live. So we have been lucky that the restrictions haven't been so crazy here yet. Hopefully it will stay like that. So we're doing a lot of live things. Yeah.
Yeah, very lucky. And I noticed that the title of your chapter, or we haven't even really talked about, we are part of a co-authored book with 14 women altogether, ordinary women who have led extraordinary transformational lives in the sense of where we came from to where we are now. And it's called Your True Power, The Key to Your Amazing Life. And Fiorella and I are both life transformed coaches, and that's how we originally met. And we're also co-authors. So I noticed that your chapter is about getting the parts of you together as well. Would you like to speak about that, or is that going to stay as a surprise for people buying the book?
Well, you can read the book and find out, but it's basically what I said. It's like, it's really like I had like a whole, let's say like a whole kindergarten inside of myself, like wanting my attention kind of thing. And I got to understand that it was reflecting in every area of my life, in my job, in my relationship. So that's why I decided to share that story in the book, which hopefully you guys will read, because it's there's so many awesome stories. And that was my job. It was to basically be this mom, right? Like this mother, and really pay attention and listen to what all these little energies were like desperately wanting to tell me. So that's been my medicine, my biggest medicine, to accept without judgment, accept with compassion, with empathy, with love, all of these parts of me. That's why I title it like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So just talking about the book a little bit more, if you haven't already bought it, it's currently available at pre-launch, the ebook, for $1 US or equivalent around the world. And it's at yourtruepowerbook.com, yourtruepowerbook.com. And for $1 US or equivalent, you not only get 14 true transformational stories from these amazing women, You get a bonus from each author, entry into a free raffle to win $1,000 US, and the money, all the proceeds from the sales, is going to charity. So it's not going to the authors. You're not supporting our retirement funds or anything like that. We're actually doing this as an act of love to spread the word. Would you like something on that?
Yes, absolutely. And it's, I mean, I read the stories and they're really inspiring. They're really different. And at the same time, they're really similar at the core, you know, because I think that we all have been looking for the same thing, for love, for ourselves, to understand what was going on inside of us. So I feel that you're getting like, it's almost like you're getting this toolbox with so much magic and so much wisdom and so much inspiration when you buy this book. And it's what a deal. I mean, it's $1.99 right now on pre-order. So, I mean, there's no loss here. You only gain by purchasing this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And speaking about toolbox, you mentioned, we have a toolbox of tools that have been most beneficial to each of the authors. That's a separate document that you can access when you buy the book as well. So it's the things that helped us to transform our lives that you can use. They're not difficult, they don't cost anything, but they're daily practices or as needed practices. And they're not difficult, but they are life transforming.
They are, and they're simple, like you said, and they are just things that you can do every day. So if you're one of those persons that loves to be, and needs to be guided and, you know, likes to have tools in your pocket for different things, I mean, there are so many here and so many wonderful ones. So pretty awesome. Yeah.
Excellent. So what else would you like to talk about? I know you're brimming with enthusiasm to share all your things.
Well, I mean, I'm just grateful, Sandy, for you having me here on your platform to be able to share my story. For me, the whole book project has been like so amazing. I mean, honestly, like I've never thought that I would be an author, but it has been really like a secret dream of mine for a long time. So when this book started, and Trissa, which is the one that came up with like this whole project and idea, contacted me, I was like, it was a total yes in my heart. And the whole process, just from believing that I could actually write something and actually owning my story and understanding that it was important, you know, to share it as well. Because I think that, I don't know, you can also probably feel like at some moment I was like, but who cares about my story? Why is my story important, right? And then you realize like, well, it changed my life. Like my story literally changed my life. I went from being this one version of myself, which was in toxic relationships and alcohol, doing drugs and all of that, to becoming this other version of myself. So it was important. It deserves to be shared. It deserves to be heard. So that has been a big transformation for me, just sharing it, coming out with it. So I'm just happy that if you guys get the book and are able to read this and hear us and share this enthusiasm that we all have for this amazing project that we're a part of. So,
and the thing is, as you said, there's a core element of what we felt was lacking in our lives and what we were looking for, which essentially comes down to the fact that you don't feel loved and you're looking outside of yourself in some way. And we've all come to our own knowing of what our true power is to transform our lives. And it might be worded slightly differently for each author. And the other thing is that the stories, although they have these key elements that are common to each person, the actual circumstances and the stories and the way they play out are totally different. I mean, I was just fascinated reading them. And it's a reminder that even though at the time you think you're the only person that's experiencing that, I'm sure that all listeners, when they read the book, will be able to relate to at least one of the stories at a personal level.
That is so true. Yes, because even yesterday in the ceremony, some guy shared like when we heard everybody sharing yesterday, he was like, wow, I can't believe that I often think I'm the only person in the world feeling like I'm stuck or like I'm not moving forward, right? And when you say that, it's so true, because this book, the beauty of it is that you have 14 different stories, but at the core, we are all connected in some way. We're all feeling that not worthiness, that not enough, not being loved, not being accepted. So you realize you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're not alone in your journey. You are, you know, a part of this whole consciousness that we're all looking for the same thing. So it really feels good when you understand that, because you're like, you stop feeling that loneliness and you're like, yeah, there is a lot of people that have gone through the same or are going through the same. And it's beautiful when you just get to connect with them and like, wow, if this person could do it, okay, I can do it. That's what you get when you get inspired. Sometimes you just need that. You just need to know that somebody else has been able to do it for you to be like, okay, fine. I mean, I could do this too, you know? Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the book.
Yeah. It's the fact that you feel like you're not the black sheep, that you're the only one, that someone actually gets you, that somebody
Yeah.
has experienced what you've experienced. It might be a slightly different version of it, but they understand at a core level, and they're seeing you, hearing you, acknowledging what you've experienced. And you know, you really feel like, oh, there is this hope, as you said. And it's just a fabulous way of connecting. I mean, we have transformed to another level by writing our stories. We thought we'd already transformed, but there was another level of it, and another level of connection and collaboration, communication and sharing and things like that, which have happened as a
Yes.
result of sharing the stories. Because when we were writing them, we didn't know a lot of each other's stories. Even though we'd met through the coaching program, we might have known some of them, but we weren't all in the same years of coaching. So, you know, some people we hadn't heard the story, and it's like, wow.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's been awesome getting to know all of the authors in such a deeper level, and to just be like, wow, like really you went through that? Like, wow, I would have never imagined that you were that person in this situation, or you were this and that, by, you know, how you're showing up right now in life. It's like, so I think that's what's awesome, that we can all relate and be like, get inspired, you know. I love, I like when I feel down, like the way that I get up is by listening to things that pump me up, that gets my energy high. So I feel it's important to have that,
Yeah.
to get supported, to get inspired. For me, it works. It gets me out of that place when I hear, oh yeah, there's this person that did it. Yes, you can do this. So I that's my way of getting myself back up. So I think this book can do that for a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's great. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm just going to look at my notes. Oh, yes. Tell me about your bonus. I seem to recall that your bonus is actually practically oriented. Is it to do with breath work? Was that
My bonus is a meditation,
a
and
med-
it's just connecting you back to the moment,
uh-huh.
just allowing you to be completely present in your body, in the space, and kind of like tapping into your own wisdom, allowing you to hear what's coming through. So it's a beautiful meditation. I believe it's like 7-minute meditation that you can do anywhere, and just connect you back to the now, to the moment, and just be aware of what's going on, which is my favorite practice,
Yes.
because, you know, we all get caught up with the noise and the life and the chatter and everything that we have going on in our lives. But when you really connect and take a couple of deep breaths, and it's like you're back in that aligned place, then you can hear what's really going on and what wants to be heard, what wants to come through. So yeah, it's a meditation that you can do. It's only 7 minutes, so you
Uh-huh.
can practice at anywhere.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
And what about for people
Yeah.
who've never done meditation? Will they be able to do it?
I'm sorry, say that again.
For someone who hasn't particularly done meditation before, will they be able to do it?
Absolutely. It's very simple because it's guided. I even have some sound because I also do or like to play around with sound. So it has a little bit of sound healing in it just to get you back into the place. So it's very simple. It's guided. So all you have to do is just listen to it, basically. And there's no right, wrong way of meditating. I mean, it's really just sitting there, or not sitting, but it's really just being there in that moment, being present, which is the whole point of meditation, is to get you there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And whilst being in the present moment, it doesn't mean that your mind has to be totally empty.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Yeah.
if there are things coming, it's like watching clouds in the sky. You notice them, but you let them keep moving. So the same with your thoughts, you just let them keep moving.
Exactly. It's like, I think a lot of people have put a lot of pressure on themselves when they hear the word meditation, because they're like, oh, I have to do it this way and I have to feel that you said, like completely disconnected. And it's not really that. It's actually just being aware. For me, it's just being aware of what's going on. Even if it's the chatter and the constant noise, well, can you be aware of that? And can you see where that is coming from? Like, it's just being present with what is. That's for me what meditation is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw you a bit of a curveball question now. What's the most surprising thing in this writing process for you? Like involved in the book, not just the writing of it, but the whole book process?
I think for me, the fact that I could actually write something and enjoy it and actually have fun with it. And like I said, I never thought I could write anything other than my journal entries, which I write actually a lot. Yeah. But to actually put something out and be able and be willing for people to read it and just be okay with it, for me has been huge. Yes. And it's been like the biggest gift, like, oh, I can write something. I am also an author. I can also be this. It's another part of me that it's there and wants to be seen and heard. So that's been amazing and beautiful. I love that.
Yes. And particularly when you think that English is not your first language. When you arrived in Miami as 10-year-old, you didn't speak any English?
Exactly. Yes. I didn't speak any English, and that was something that really impacted me. And now the funny thing is that life is putting me in the same situation as a 41-year-old in Sweden, which I don't speak the language here either. And I've been able to notice how life wants me to also heal the 10-year-old that was impacted by not knowing, by being confused, by putting me now in another country, allowing me to learn a new language, but now with so much more wisdom and so much more knowledge that I can kind of like hold the 10-year-old and be like, oh, it's okay. We're going to make this. We're going to go through this. We're going to learn. It's okay. So it's like now I'm mothering that 10-year-old right here in the Nordic in this new experience. Yeah.
No, I love that. I love the fact that, and for the benefit of the listeners, we get these sort of updates from Fiorella about Swedish class, and then she's trying to pronounce something and apparently gets it wrong, and it obviously has some totally different meaning. So then
yeah it's not an easy language. Not
I have great respect and admiration for you for even attempting it, and you know, and moving the other side of the world, and then you know all that entails, leaving your family behind, and then pandemic and the whole restrictions and everything like that, even if it wasn't restricted so much in Sweden, but the fact that you couldn't go back. So
yes. Oh, thank you, Sandy. It really has been challenging, and at the same time such a learning process, just to get out of, like you said, get out of everything that you knew and come, because it's a total different culture, it's another language. Even the walking, like you walk on one side, you know, it's like there's so many structures and so many rules that I felt like, oh my God, I don't even know how to walk here. Like I don't even know how to ride a bike. There's like, you have to ride a bike link in this lane and this. So I felt completely out of my element, and that has been a challenging and a blessing. And like, wow, okay, we got this, girl. You can do this. We can do this. Like, and from another place. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
I think it's fabulous. You're definitely an inspiration in your life as well as in your story. Because the co-authors have had the opportunity to read the advanced copy of the stories, all the stories, and yes,
Yeah,
it's amazing to hear you talking about, you know, connecting with nature and everything. Is very different from the party life of Miami, I imagine.
it is. And I think that's the most beautiful part. Like when I first got here, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Right? Like part of me was like, I'm gonna die because I'm living like in a smaller town, like an hour away from Stockholm. So, and then and now, you know, I'm understanding, no, you're not. You're literally dying to the past, but you're awakening to a deeper connection to nature, which I love. I love nature. And it's the seasons are teaching me so much. The winter, the darkness now is teaching me to come in, to be still, to listen. Yesterday we were at the forest with a fire in the middle of the forest, and it was dark at 3:30 p.m. and I was like blown away by the magic of the darkness. You know, I was like, wow, how beautiful. Like I told my husband I could just sleep here and just sit by this fire and listen and be in this silence and this stillness. And it's so beautiful. I never thought that I would be this person now after being in Miami my whole life, but now I'm understanding why my soul really needed this. It really wanted this.
Yeah.
This that I get here in this beautiful land.
Yeah. And the thing is that you can embody all of those learnings and all of those awarenesses into your coaching and your other
Absolutely.
practices. So that's fabulous.
It
Lucky
is.
over there.
Yes. Lucky me too, because actually think that Swedish people are pretty awesome. Like I'm so lucky because they all speak English so good. I think it's like, I don't know if it's the second country not being a speaker, English speaker that speaks the language so well. So I'm so lucky because since day one, I've been able to work here. And at the same time, of course, I want to learn the language because I'm here, you know, and I live here now. So, but they're pretty awesome. They're kind of like quiet and closed off when you first meet them. But when you break that first wall, they're there. There's like, if you manage to make a friend here, it's one of those friends that you will have forever.
Yeah. Oh, that's
fabulous. You know, not a superficial.
Yes. And that's what you need when you're so far from home. So that's
exactly.
For you for that. And hopefully with going to Swedish classes and things like that, you get to meet a few more people apart from the clients that you're meeting.
Yes. And I have met a couple of friends from South America, actually, which is fun because now I get to speak Spanish too.
Oh, okay. You've got South American friends in Sweden.
Yes, I've met a girl from Argentina, actually. So we connect on that level. When you're so far away, you meet somebody that's just from that area, you get so excited. You're like, yes, you want to be my friend? Let's hang out, speak Spanish, talk about, the things that we did.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure having you here for the interview. Is there anything else that I haven't asked you or you haven't spoken about yet that you would like to talk about?
I feel very complete, Sandy. I thank you so much for having me on your platform, for allowing me to share my story with your following, with your tribe, and I'm just I had a great time. So thank you so much.
Well, it's been my pleasure, and not just now in the interview, but the whole book process, because there have been times when I'll contact Fiorella because she's awake and the rest of the states where a lot of the other authors are asleep. So I can't do this tech thing. And she'll go, oh, it's all right. You can do this and this and this. I'm like, no, I can't. So we're learning at a whole new level.
It has, but the funny thing for those of you listening, it's that Sandy has reached out like, oh my God, I need help with this. And for some reason, maybe I couldn't maybe sometimes help her all the time. And then she figured it out on her own. So she has become like such a pro at all of these technological things that I'm so inspired by you. Seriously, like you're doing such an amazing work with things that you thought you didn't know how to do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I receive it all.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for watching and listening. Don't forget yourtruepowerbook.com. And if they want to reach you, Fiorella, what's the best contact for you?
Well, through Facebook here, you can reach me easily. And I also have a website, which is www.fiorellagaribaldi.com. It's my full name. Yeah, so any social media works for me. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for watching and listening, and catch you again. Bye.
Bye.